guys, it's Ashley and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you guys are new. So today, you guys, I am bringing you a book tag and I am doing the book recommendations tag. The original creator is Stephanie Bauer, I think is how you say her name, or Steph Bauer. I apologize if I butchered that. I will link her video down below. But I've been wanting to do tag videos for the longest time. I feel like people don't do them as much anymore, and I wanted to start doing them again. So you might see a lot of book tag videos from me this year. We'll see how it goes. But this first one is the book recommendation tag, and I'm basically just going to be talking about some books to recommend. I'm answering some questions, and we're just going to go with it. So let's just go ahead and get started with the tag. Okay, so the first question is a book that you tell people is your favorite. If you guys have been following me for years, I think you already know the answer to that. That book is going to be Twilight. I think what has happened with me in Twilight is kind of eye-opening to me, because I feel like younger Ashley was so proud to say that Twilight was her favorite book. Like, I love this series so much. I love the movies. This book, it's just amazing, right? To me. And yeah, now that I've gotten older, I feel like when people ask me what my favorite book is, I'm like, my favorite book's Twilight, but hear me out. Like, I was 19 when I first read it. Like, that's how I feel like I say it now, but like, should I be ashamed how much I love Twilight? I feel like I shouldn't. People still love Twilight, right? I'm not the only one. I know I'm not the only one. Okay. Anyways. The next one is a book that is your guilty pleasure. For me, I think I'm gonna go with the Wicked Villain series by Katie Robert. While I don't love all of the books in the series, I have read all of them except for the last one, I believe. And I do enjoy them. I like some books more than others, but I feel like they are kind of a guilty pleasure read. If you don't know, the Wicked Villain series is like a smutty romance series that kind of has a twist on the like Disney characters in a sense, where it's like the heroine and the villain are together and the hero is the bad guy in a sense. That's a loose basing of what it is, but that's what it is. But I really do enjoy the series. I mean, enough to me. I've read 6 of the books in the series already. So, you know, it's a good, they're light reads too. They're not long. So I feel like, you know, read them. They're good. All right. The next question is a book that everyone loved, but you didn't. And I'm going to list a few. Well, I'm going to list one book and then a series. The first one is Red, White, and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston. I didn't not like the book. It just wasn't my favorite. And I know people hype it up and they love it so much. It gets so much praise. And for me, it was a cute story, but it wasn't my favorite. And so I kind of felt bad that I didn't like it as much as other people did, but it just wasn't my favorite. So I've read it. It was enjoyable, but I don't see myself rereading it. So that's one. The next one is a series. It's a trilogy, and I've read the entire trilogy, and I didn't love them all. And that is the, I don't even know the name of the series, but it's the Fix Her Up series by Tessa Bailey. I've read 5 of Tessa Bailey's books. And I've discovered she's not really the writer for me. I don't know why it took me 5 books to realize that. But I don't enjoy her books like everybody else does. Everybody loves these books, like all of her books. And I feel like people rave about them so much. And I didn't enjoy them all. I think the highest I gave one was 4 stars. And I don't know. I think I've discovered the main thing that I don't like about her books is her male characters. I don't like them in any of her books. Not really. There was it Hook, Line, and Sinker was the last one. But yeah, I don't enjoy her books. Again, I think I've rated one of her books 4 stars that I kind of enjoyed. And then I threw one of her books across the room because I hated it. Love Her or Lose Her. Absolutely hated the male character in that book. Hated him. Not a fan. Literally threw the book across the room. Nope. No. Okay, the next question is a book that you read the fastest. I think there's only a few books that I've read like within one sitting. But the book I'm going to talk about is The Love Hypothesis by Ali Hazelwood. I talked about this in my book haul a little bit. I ate this book up. I loved it so much. The only reason it took me 2 days to read this book is because I started it late, and the first night I read until 3 a.m. and I was like, Ashley, you have to go to work tomorrow. So I had to put it down. But then I finished it the next night. Like, I ate this up. This is a fake dating trope, and it's like it's a Raylo fanfic turned into a novel. I am the biggest Raylo stan, and I loved this book so much. And I feel like people I've seen say they like Love on the Brain better, but this one's mine. I love this book. Absolutely loved it. Couldn't put it down. Couldn't put it down. Okay, the next question is a book that you think deserves more hype. For me, I'm gonna go with The Right Swipe by Alicia Rai. I loved this book. I loved the story that this book told. This is about a girl who owns a like dating app, and she doesn't quite believe in love. And then the main character, his aunt, owns another app that the girl's trying to buy. And there was an instance where they had like a one-night stand years ago and thought they would never see each other again. And it's just a really cute and beautiful story. The main character is an ex-football player, and it talks about CTE a lot in this. And I just think just everything it touches on in this book is just great and amazing, and I really enjoyed it, and I think more people should read it. I think it was very popular when it first came out, but I don't think people talk about it as much anymore. So read this. It's really good. I loved it. Okay, so the next question is a book that is becoming a movie or a TV show, and I'm actually going to talk about one where I haven't read the book, but I just saw the trailer for the movie, and I'm really hyped about seeing it. So now I need to go read the book, and that is The Ballads of Songbirds and Snakes, and that is the Hunger Games prequels. Now, I have read the Hunger Games trilogy, absolutely love that trilogy, love the movies, and I told myself I was going to read the prequel, and I just never picked it up. And now the movie's coming out soon, and they just released the trailer, and it looks really good. So I gotta go read the book before the movie comes out now. But if you haven't seen the trailer, definitely check it out because it looks really good. Honestly, it really does. Okay, the next question is a book that you have reread the most. I've already talked about this book. It is Twilight. I have read this book more times than I could count. I've read it the most in the series too. I've just read it multiple times. So yeah, Twilight. We're gonna put it down now. Moving on. Okay, the next one is a book from a genre that you don't typically read. And for me, I'm going to go with The Shining by Stephen King. It's kind of funny to me because when I first read the book and I finished it, I thought I hated it. Like, I thought I was really mad about it. But the more I thought about it, I was like, this really impacted me. And I really remember a lot of things, like elements of the book. And I was like, did I hate this or did I actually enjoy it? And I feel like I actually enjoyed it. So I don't usually read horror at all, like, ever. I think that might be the first horror book I've ever read, and I actually did enjoy it. I think I did enjoy it. I have picked up Dr. Sleep, which is, like, the sequel to The Shining. I haven't read it yet. I'm hoping I can read it this year. But yeah, I would highly recommend The Shining. One of my friends, she told me if I wanted to get into Stephen King to start with The Shining, so I did. And I liked it. So yeah, I highly recommend it if you haven't read it. Next is a book that deserves all the hype it gets. And for that, I'm going to go with the Brown Sisters trilogy by Talia Hibbert. I love this series so much. I love everything that it represents. It represents diversity. It represents plus size women. It represents people with chronic illnesses. There's so much in these stories, and they're just beautiful romances with a little bit of smut mixed into there. And I love this series. I have also read Get a Life, Chloe Brown. I just don't own it physically, but I need to get it so I can own it. And I want to reread this series because it is just so good. I love the characters. Talia Hibbert is an amazing writer. I love her writing. Definitely. They deserve all the hype that they get. Great trilogy. Great trilogy. I don't know if it's really a trilogy. They're like companion books, but you know what I mean. Okay, next is a book that you usually recommend when you are giving a recommendation. I like to be cautious on what I recommend to people just because I read smutty romance books and I don't know if everybody would like a smutty romance book, but that's not the only types of books that I read. And I usually will recommend this book to people because I've read it multiple times and I absolutely love it. And that is Can You Keep a Secret by Sophie Kinsella. I love this book so much. It is so funny. If you have the chance to listen to the audiobook, I would definitely listen to it on audiobook because I literally laugh out loud reading this book. This is about a girl who she's on this business trip and she's doing this presentation that doesn't go well, and then she has to fly back home and she's really nervous on her flight, and she like gets drunk before the flight, and while she's on the flight, she's in first class and I think they have like a lot of turbulence, and she starts freaking out, and so she just starts telling all these things to the guy that's sitting next to her on the airplane, and it's just like, it's really funny. Come to find out that the guy she's sitting with is actually the CEO of the company, and it's just, it's a great story. It's hilarious. I highly recommend anything by Sophie Kinsella. She makes me laugh all the time. I love her. Definitely read this one. Okay, so the next one is a book with your favorite character or characters, and I have a few, so just bear with me. So first I'm gonna go with Poppy from I've Got Your Number by Sophie Kinsella. Again, Sophie Kinsella books, they just crack me up, and Poppy is hilarious in this book. That's all I'm gonna say. Honestly, all of her main characters are hilarious to me, so just anything by Sophie Kinsella, honestly. Then I'm going to be a little bit basic with this next one, but I'm going to go with Rhysand, because I love him. Okay, I love him. He's amazing. He's amazing. He's amazing. And then this last one, I don't know. I think if you've read the series, then you'll go with me on this one. But I'm going to go with Tori and Darius from the Zodiac Academy series. I just love them. I love them. I love them. I think I might make a whole video on my feelings about this series, so look out for that coming. But yeah, love them. Okay, the next question is a book that you wish you could live in. So I guess the world that the book is set in. And I kind of have two. This might be cheating a little bit, but I'm just gonna talk about them both. The first one is going to be the Magical Bakery Mystery Series. This is by Bailey Cates. The thing I love about this story is she owns a bakery. The main character, well, she doesn't own a bakery. Her aunt owns a bakery, and she works in the bakery with her, and they bake. There's also magic involved, and I would love to own a bakery one day. Also, with that, I'm gonna go with Better Than Fiction by Alexa Martin. The main character in this book inherits her, I believe it's her grandmother's bookstore, and my like life dream would to own a like bookstore, cafe, bakery combination thing. So like if I could put these two worlds together, if I could put these two worlds together, that would be my dream. So I'm gonna go with these two and kind of cheat, but you know what I mean. Okay, the next one is a book that you thought you would hate, but you ended up loving. And for that, I'm gonna go with In the Holidays by Christina Lauren. Well, yes, you guys saw that I am unhauling this book. Once I did read it, I actually enjoyed it. Now, I did say it took me 3 times to get through it, because I think at first I was just like, this is boring, I don't really like it. It's got like the whole Groundhog Day synopsis with it. But once I actually kept reading and got into the story, it was actually a really cute story, and I actually really did enjoy it. I just probably won't reread it because it took me so many times to read it, but I did enjoy it when I did finally read it, so I will use this one. Okay, the next one is a book that made you cry. I don't really cry with books. I try to avoid books that make you cry. But the one that made me cry that kind of surprised me was A Court of Wings and Ruin by Sarah J. Maas. Yeah, this book was, again, it's a chunker, and so much was happening, and I just, like, the ending really got to me, and I cried while reading this book, and that doesn't happen a lot, so, yeah. Okay, and the last question is a book that you wish you could read for the first time. So I guess a book that you wish you could reread for the first time all over again. For me, I feel like this is kind of an underrated book. And I'm gonna go with The Host by Stephenie Meyer. And hear me out on this. You guys know I love Twilight, and I love that series, but I think The Host is like such an underrated book by Stephenie Meyer. This book had me going through so many emotions. This is an older book. This does have a movie out. Don't watch the movie. It's not good. But the book is amazing. If you guys don't know, this is like a sci-fi book, and it's a time where like aliens have invaded Earth and they're like taking over humans' bodies, and there are still some humans on Earth that their bodies haven't been taken over, and they're like hiding, and it's just it's an amazing book. It literally had me happy and then my heart pumping. It's just so good, and I feel like it's underrated, and I think more people should read it. Yes, it's kind of an older book, but who cares? Y'all read classics out there. You can read this one. But yes, The Host, so underrated. Definitely check it out. Again, you don't have to watch the movie. It's not good. But the book, I thought was amazing, in my opinion. So, yeah. Okay, guys, so that is the end of the book recommendations tag. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys have gotten some book recommendations. I feel like I kind of talked about a lot of popular books, but maybe just getting the word out there about some older books that maybe people don't really talk about anymore that I have enjoyed. So, yeah. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe down below. And I will see you guys next time. Bye, guys.